How's everybody doing today? You ready to have some fun? Now, how many of you got to catch some of Mr. Trump's energy speech a couple hours ago? One of the big contrasts in this race is that Donald J. Trump wants to create American energy, and Hillary Clinton wants to shut down coal and energy and oil production all across this country. Hillary Clinton will be the greatest job destroyer this country's ever seen. Hillary Clinton wants to regulate our companies out of existence. She wants to tax our jobs out of existence. She wants to shut down the coal mines, stop the drilling, stop the energy exploration. Hillary Clinton wants a wide open border so American workers can't get jobs anymore. Donald J. Trump has a different idea. He has this old-fashioned idea that American citizens should come first in their own country. Now, Hillary Clinton says that Donald Trump is a bully. Have you heard this? She says, oh, Donald Trump's a bully. Donald J. Trump is the man who's going to protect the American people from the bullies. Donald J. Trump is the man who's going to protect you from the special interests who've been sending your jobs overseas. Donald J. Trump is going to protect you from the corporations that want open borders to drive down wages. And he's going to protect you from all the politicians and all the special interests and all the pundits who mock and scorn and demean the good and honest, decent people of this country. 2016 will be remembered as the year that the American people retook control of their country. This is the kind of opportunity that never comes again. I'm sure many of us felt pretty forlorn in recent years, pretty melancholy, looking at the state of our country. Turn on the TV, watch what's happening in Congress. I think a lot of us probably felt things might never change. Probably felt pretty hopeless. Probably worried that maybe our kids would never see a better future. Probably started to think we would never get immigration under control. Probably started to think we would never get our manufacturing back. Probably started to think that our retirement programs would go bankrupt, that our military would keep getting weaker, that the future of America would be much dimmer than its past. And then something happened. A man stepped forward into the breach, and I think we all know his name. Donald J. Trump. And Donald J. Trump said, maybe it's time that you had a champion in your corner. He said, maybe it's time you turn on the TV and you see somebody fighting for you for a change. Maybe you have someone who's not afraid to speak the truth on behalf of the American people, no matter who tells them to stop. Now, one of the big issues in this race is going to be the issue of foreign policy. Now, Donald J. Trump's laid out an America First foreign policy. The idea that we take care of our own people first, that other countries pay their fair share, and that we focus on fighting terrorism, not reckless nation building in the Middle East. Now, Hillary Clinton, she had a little tryout period. She had 4 years as Secretary of State. A little tryout, a little audition for the presidency. How did that go? Let's see. Did Hillary stop Iran from its path to getting a nuclear weapon? Did Hillary turn Libya into a place of vibrant and safe democracy? Did Hillary help Syria transition into a safe, terror-free state? Seems like everything Hillary Clinton touched turned into absolute, total, complete chaos. You know, I think I can remember back in 2009, we hadn't even heard of ISIS. Fast forward 4 years of Hillary Clinton, and ISIS seems to be controlling the whole Middle East. And now they're launching attacks into the West, as we've seen in Europe, and we've seen them sending in agents into the United States, and we've seen terror on our own shores like we've seen in San Bernardino. And so what is Hillary Clinton's response to that? She says, I want to increase Syrian refugees by 500%. Now, you won't see this printed in the media, but I've read some polling data on this. Do you know what percentage of Americans support Hillary Clinton's refugee plan? Well, it's probably 0, but they have to round up so it seems more realistic, so they said 5%. So Hillary Clinton is an extremist. She's the one who's out of step with the American people. She's the one who's out of touch with the working people who make this country happen. She's the one who's careless, who's heartless, who lacks compassion, because guess what? It's the parents here whose schools are going to suffer from uncontrolled migration. It's the wage earners whose jobs are going to suffer because of uncontrolled migration. It's our communities that are going to suffer the consequences in terms of extremism, in terms of the tax burden, in terms of the effect on our hospitals and our public resources. But Hillary Clinton has no compassion whatsoever for the American people. But you know who does care about the American people? That's right. Donald J. Trump cares about America, and he cares about you. And when you send him to the White House, he's going to fight for all of you. You know who Hillary Clinton is going to fight for? She's going to fight for her donors. She's going to fight for the people lining her pockets. Have you heard of a book called Clinton Cash? Everyone should take a good, hard look at this book, because, again, it shows that in her tryout for the presidency, extremist, heartless, uncaring, Wall Street bottom paid for Hillary Clinton sold her office to the highest bidder. Are we going to let her sell the White House to the highest bidder? No, I'm going to read you a chapter, a little excerpt from this book, because it's so important. I think we also want everyone in the media really to hear this too, don't we? Because, you know, Hillary in her little email controversy where she's illegally hoarding secret emails and violating the law and putting national security in danger. Boy, really great Secretary of State, huh? So, and she's deleting all these emails and hiding them. How many of you think maybe the reason Hillary wanted to keep her emails secret is because of something to do with all these corrupt dealings documented in this book? Maybe she didn't want those to be public. Maybe that's why she created her little homebrew server. So listen to this. This is from the book by Peter Schweitzer. It says, most ex-presidents see the demand for their speech-making decline as they move farther away from their time in office. Makes sense, right? You know, Bill's in office. As time goes on, less and less desire to hear him talk. The opposite applies to Bill. During Hillary's tenure as Secretary of State, Bill's speech-making activity increased and became more profitable, particularly overseas. In a number of cases, these speeches were paid for by people with an interest in obtaining favors from Hillary. In other words, give cash to Bill, get favors from Hill. That's how it worked, right? Give cash to Bill, get favors from Hill. And we're not going to let that happen in the White House, are we? No, we're not. You know, interesting fact I hope the media explores. Guess who one of the entities was funneling this money to the Clintons when she was Secretary of State? The government of China was giving record amounts of money to Bill. It's all documented in this book. And during the same time, China was stealing all of our manufacturing jobs. How many of you in the room think that maybe the reason Hillary gave all of our manufacturing jobs to China was because China was giving all their money to Bill and Hillary? Makes sense, doesn't it? So she says that she cares about you, but she sells your jobs overseas to line her pockets. She says she cares about minorities, but she takes the jobs out of Baltimore, out of Chicago, out of Detroit, and she ships them to China so she and Bill can get a little bit richer. That sounds pretty crooked to me. Sound crooked to you? So maybe we can't blame Bernie Sanders supporters for wanting to support Bernie, because I don't think Democrat voters are interested in supporting a nominee who sells our jobs overseas just to make a little bit of extra cash. And frankly, I don't think Democrat supporters love Hillary Clinton's support for invading foreign countries and then importing all the refugees she's displaced into the United States. Seems like a pretty bad foreign policy to me. 4 years of Hillary Clinton in the Secretary of State position, and we lost 500,000 manufacturing jobs. We gave Iran control over the Middle East. We gave ISIS control of Iraq. We turned Libya into a hellhole beyond imagination and gave ISIS a proving ground there to launch terrorist attacks. She helped overthrow the pro-Western regime in Egypt, and I could go on and on and on and on and on. Have you ever in your lives heard of anybody with worse judgment than Hillary Clinton? No. So my question for you, are you ready, Montana, to send a message so loud that the people who betrayed you, the people who sold you out, the people who let illegal immigrants pour into our communities, the people who forced American workers to train their foreign replacements, are you ready to send a message to everybody who looked down on you, to everybody who disrespected you? Are you ready to send them a message that you are going to take back this country? This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Are you ready to seize it? Montana, are you ready to do something that historians will be writing about for 1,000 years? Are you ready to help the sun rise once again on a bright and prosperous America? And are you ready, Montana, to stand strong and stand tall for Donald J. Trump's promise of America first? And all of you will get that chance come November, and every single one of you can look at your children and your children's children and tell them that when your time came, you stood strong, you stood tall, and you stood up for the United States of America. Thank you all. God bless you. God bless this beautiful state. And God bless the United States of America.